front, but how will all of these overnight cues impact our own markets? We have our research team joining in with how the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and of course the setup on the FNO side of things as well. But well, it was the month of September that finally came to an end yesterday, and you can describe that month in exactly two halves. We had almost 21 trading sessions for the month, and you can see the first 10 sessions was almost about the Fed uncertainty. What will the Fed do? Will it cut rates or not? And once it became clear that the Fed will do what it eventually did, it was a one-way move upside on the index, and towards the second half of the session, the Nifty was up almost 2%. But if you exclude yesterday's fall until Friday's closing, the Nifty was up almost 3.5% for the month of September, and it was a positive month nonetheless. And despite yesterday's fall, we still ended the month with gains of almost 2%. But what led to that fall yesterday? Now, there were some concerns with regards to the SEBI board meeting, where there's some measures with regards to the FNO space that may be announced. That was a concern. That did not happen. So that is one concern that has been allayed. The Chinese markets, the way they rallied yesterday, both the CSI 300 and the Shenzhen index together saw almost a record turnover in yesterday's trading session. So there were some fears of money moving into China from India, and of course the sell-off in the index heavyweights. Now, if Reliance Industries falls 3.5% in a day, you would expect that kind of a fall, and that will show up in the contributors as well. Take a look at this: Reliance, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank, all the banking heavyweights that took the index higher pulled the index down in yesterday's trading session. And the principal culprit was the Nifty Bank, and it has had a painful last couple of sessions, has the Nifty Bank. Now, in fact, from the highs that it made last Thursday, the index is down almost 1,500 points from those levels, and it will be interesting to see that how the Nifty Bank moves in today's session, because it is going to be the weekly expiry today for the Nifty Bank and for the financial services, considering tomorrow is a holiday. It's a very data heavy day today. The September auto sales will also be coming out in today's session, the manufacturing PMI, of course the revision that the transaction fees were made on BSE, NSE, MCX, even CDSL, all of that will take effect in today's session. So that is another important cue to watch out for in today's session. And of course the quarterly business updates will begin. In fact, they have already begun, with IREDA coming out with an update last night, and of course the final phase of polling in Jammu and Kashmir. So a lot of cues to watch out for in today's trading session. For now, the GIFT Nifty pointing towards a flat start, just start above the flat line for our own markets. But what should be the stocks that should be watching out for this morning? Vinny is joining in with that list. Vinny, good morning.
Good morning, and we'll start with Tata Power, because they've received and they've actually inked an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with the Rajasthan government for around 1.2 lakh crore rupees. This is for power distribution, transmission, and renewable energy transmission as well. So keeping an eye on this one. This is an investment plan that they have, 1.2 lakh crores. So keep an eye on that. NHPC, that too has signed an MOU with the government of Rajasthan. This is for a proposed investment of 50,000 crores. This is for pump storage projects, renewable energy projects, as well as battery energy storage project. Unichem Labs, that's the one we're keeping an eye out on, after the board has approved entering into an agreement with Bayshore Pharmaceuticals LLC USA. Bayshore USA is a step-down subsidiary of Ipca Labs, so keep an eye out on that. This agreement is to buy all the rights, titles and interest in the product approvals of 9 ANDAs for around $2.65 million. NTPC 2 in focus, after NTPC Green has signed an MOU with Rajasthan government for development of 25 gigawatt of renewable projects. Whereas Rajasthan government has inked a lot of packs in just yesterday's post-market session. IREDA, on the back of business update, we are keeping an eye on that. September quarter, loan sanctioned saw a growth of around 300%, while loan disbursement also saw a growth of 56% on a year-on-year basis. And lastly, Kalpataru Projects, they have secured an order of around 1,241 crores in the Indian as well as overseas market.
Vinny, thanks a lot for that update. Plenty of stocks, of course, auto stocks to watch out for as well. And lastly, Mangalam joins in with cues from the FNO space. Mangalam, good morning. A bit of a distorted session yesterday. How are the setup looking like on the FNO side now?
Well, you know, a lot of excesses were taken out in yesterday's trading session, and that's perhaps a good thing. It'll be very interesting to see how it pans out in today's trading session, largely because, one, there was a sharp fall yesterday on the Nifty. The Nifty Bank having corrected nearly 1,500 points from the top. The mid-cap index outperformed a bit in the sense that it did not fall as much as the other frontline indices. The GIFT Nifty is now suggesting a mildly positive start to open. And today will also be the test of the texture of the market, largely because if one's theory was yesterday's fall was on account of China's outperformance, today we have China, which is shut on account of a public holiday. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. Importantly, the cash market flows. That should come up for you. Nearly 10,000 crores sold by the FIs in yesterday's trading session. Remember, the first 29 days of September, they went ahead and bought nearly 20,000 crores. So in one trading session itself, they've sold half of that. So that'll be very interesting. And also after buying for a fair amount in index futures, they went ahead and sold about 1,700 crores in index futures, where they unbound about 24,000 long contracts. No problems, because their long exposure still is 81%. Importantly, who bought the FII selling? It was the clients. Remember, yesterday we said the FIIs were long and the clients were short. Yesterday, clients covered 64,000 short contracts. And add to that, their net exposure has also moved towards the long side. From nearly 2.5 lakh net short contracts, they moved to around 2 lakh net short contracts. And the long positioning has increased from 34% to 37%. So that's a positive. What are the options that you're looking at? 26,000 call continues to be a bit of a writing, favorite for all the writers, largely because yesterday we broke below that level. There was a lot of short covering in those puts as well. But the active put is 25,600 put with a premium of almost 38, telling you closer to 25,550, we will see support. And that ties in with the 20-day exponential moving average as well, which is close to around 25,565. For the Nifty Bank, it's just about 200 points away from here. So those are a couple of levels that we'll be watching out for, 20-day exponential moving average. And for the Nifty Bank, it will also be important to track the expiry today, because tomorrow is a public holiday. So Fin Nifty and Nifty Bank expiries will play out. A bunch of stocks entered F&O ban yesterday, part of which were Balrampur Chini, Bandhan Bank, Hind Copper and RBL Bank. All of them will be in focus today.
Some important levels to watch out for. It's an important day for the markets. Mangalam, thanks a lot for that.